Hi Scorpios! This is for the month of January 8th through February 8th. There's a lot I wanted to say, but I feel like as I was pre-shuffling, after I cleansed the cards for you after the Libra reading, to get straight to Scorpio, some of them started jumping out, so this is really important and I just want to dive right into it. Right now, I would be a little bit concerned about rumors. Right now, it feels like you're feeling like you need to sort of defend yourself against what other people are saying. And what really sucks about it is that the things that they're saying are untruthful. The rumor may not be about you, but it may affect you. It may affect how you feel. It may affect how you perceive things. It may affect how you're treating others right now. And whatever this rumor is, it's untrue. So don't let it bother you so much. I want to get a little bit more information as to what it's about. These are the cards here that had jumped out when I was shuffling for you. And then we've got this one here. Ooh. I'm just going to pull one more for a little bit of clarity. Whatever's going on with you right now, it's not as heavy as it sounds. It's not as emergent as it sounds because, like I said, it's actually from an untruth, but it's making you feel like you can't really do new things, like you can't really be happy, like you can't really earn money. It feels like somehow this pertains to your career more than anything else. I don't know if some of you are looking for a job and coming up empty-handed. I don't know if somebody has maybe given you a bad reference. You might want to go back to your resume and look at that and see who's on there and maybe have someone call in a fake reference and see. But whatever is going on here, it definitely isn't fair. So what is your advice on this? Pull two cards here. Don't preoccupy yourself so much with the opinions of others. And, okay, because whoever is saying this about you, whoever is saying this other thing, it's like they're lying to you because they think they're doing you a favor, right? They think that it's like when you ask somebody, hey, how does this outfit look? Does it seem appropriate for an interview? And they're like, yeah, you look great, when really you look like a dumbass. Like, it looks horrible. Like, it's completely inappropriate. It's that kind of thing. They are coming from a place that of some people, it's going to depend because there's a lot of Scorpios, right? So for some of you, it is coming from like a place of genuine love and caring. And then for other people, they just don't realize that white lies are not necessarily constructive and helpful. So I guess what I would do if I were you is ask your best friend. Ask like your best friend, like the person that you know will not lie to you. Your best friend could be like an actual best friend. It could be a family member, your mother, your sister, someone you know that will tell you the truth and will be honest about you, and sometimes brutally honest, but you need to be open to hearing the truth, okay? Because this other person that's telling you something that's either lying to you or saying things about you that are untrue, they're doing it like not to be vicious, right? But they don't realize that it's unhelpful. So, for example, maybe you applied for a job that's not a really great job. Maybe it pays minimum wage. Maybe it's something like that, and it doesn't seem to really suit you. So then when they're called for a resume, like a referral thing, then they go, oh, yeah, he or she's not really the best person for the job, for this reason, for that reason, whatever they say, because they think that somebody else is going to call and say, hey, you know what? We have this better job available, things like that. For not all of you, this is tied to career, but it feels like it's tied most closely to career, and so that's why I started this way. So just right now, I would kind of chill out and understand when you figure it out, what's being said about you or what the lie is, what's being told to you, and understand and forgive, because it is, it's not malicious, okay? They're doing it to help you. They think that it will help you. That's why they lie to you. In regards to your wealth, you've got the Page of Pentacles in reverse, and then the Ten of Swords. Right now, it seems a little bit difficult for some of you to make money. And I feel like a lot of you are job searching right now. If you're not, or if you have been for a while, and then you recently kind of took a break from that because you were coming up empty-handed, your advice is that you need to get enthusiastic about it, or you're not going to find one. Like right now, you've kind of just felt defeated. You kind of just feel like, don't really want to do it. Don't really want to, put yourself out there and continue to look. But you need to right now, because if you don't look with enthusiasm, if you don't really think about what is it that brings me joy, what is it I'd want to do, you're not going to find it. Sometimes opportunities just fall in your lap, but sometimes you have to seek out the opportunities and pursue the opportunities that you want. So generally, though, because that's going back to career a little bit more, just kind of watch what you're spending and where you're spending it. That's your advice as far as money goes right now. I think that you have enough, but don't be overly generous. Don't be underly generous. Just kind of stay balanced with where you're at. In regards to your health, got the Devil card coupled with the Four of Swords in reverse. And then we've got the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. A lot of you have bad habit right now. And that bad habit is preventing you from getting adequate sleep, adequate rest. It's preventing you from experiencing growth. I feel like for many of you, this habit is more related to drinking than maybe it would be to smoking or drugs or anything like that. And for some of you, it's not even drinking. It's just staying out too late. It's going out too late. It's not getting adequate sleep. And then it makes you unproductive as the day goes on, because you're waking up later and then you're like, oh my gosh, it's already noon. What's the point? Things like that. Your advice is that that you not focus so much on the rewards of whatever this vice is and how that makes you feel in that moment, to think kind of like longer term. Like, think whatever it is, it's actually not that difficult. It's not like that hard of a habit to break. For most of you, it's not really like heroin, something like that. It's something that you could easily fix, but it's like right now you're a little bit sad. You're a little bit lost. And so that whatever it is that you're doing, it just makes you feel happy in that moment, but you need to realize that that moment is not sustainable. So you're going to have to make a more meaningful change. It doesn't mean completely abandon whatever it is that you're doing, but it does mean to really put in focus how often you're doing it and how it's not really helpful. In regards to your love life, you've got the Page of Swords in reverse with the Knight of Wands. And it's kind of like you're chasing a person who is maybe giving you mixed signals. You don't want to be like super enthusiastic, like running towards this person if you can't really read whether or not they're into you, right? Like, don't close yourself down. Like, don't shut your mind off to other possibilities. This person might seem really great, and it's like sometimes they seem like they're into you, but sometimes not. You might be being used by somebody. Kind of want, like, for example, like you might be into the kind of person who will go out alone or with their friends on a Friday or Saturday night, and then if they don't see better options, call you up. Maybe 1, 2 a.m. Hey, what are you doing? Do you want to get together? I really miss you. And they tell you what you want to hear, but a lot of it is lies. They're just using you. So you really want to be less enthusiastic about that person. And I wouldn't talk to them about it. I wouldn't be accusatory. I wouldn't bring it up. I wouldn't say, hey, this is what I think about you. This is what I feel about you. Because sometimes you could be wrong, right? Or Maybe you want to use them. Maybe it's just going to be like a sexual relationship that doesn't mean anything. But don't get your heart too set on and like too focused on this is going to work, because you're not going to be happy then in the long term. But usually it would probably be okay to talk about this, right? Usually you kind of want to be honest about your feelings. But in this specific scenario, I would warn you against it. And here's why. Because whoever this person is, and I didn't get to tell you this because we just started right away, but general readings are going to apply to some people, and then some people they won't. So take the pieces of this that are meaningful to you and leave the pieces behind that are not. But whoever this person is, the way that they're doing this thing anyway, where they kind of use you, where they kind of just call you up when it's convenient for them and it's not really emotionally sustaining. This kind of person is so deceitful and so manipulative that they have a way of drawing you back in towards them and making you feel like, oh my gosh, this is the person I want to be with. I'm really excited about this. They make me feel really good about myself. Maybe they make you feel good about yourself because they compliment you a lot. They're like, wow, you're so beautiful. You're so great. Your personality is so awesome. You're so funny. You're so interesting. And maybe you feel like that when you're together, but a lot of it is pillow talk. So I would definitely keep my mouth shut and just don't be so available for them all the time. Pull one more card here. Because you know what? If you are not available for them all the time, that makes them respect you a little bit more and makes them want to work to earn you as a partner a little bit more. So if indeed this person is a good person for you, if they are a match for you, and you need to wait for them to come pursue you, and pursue you harder. They need to really work at it and prove to you that they can be a good partner. And I think that's going backwards. I think that's a good part of the reason for some of you why you need to keep your mouth shut. Because maybe it seems that way. Maybe they're acting that way right now. But maybe they have their own reasons for that. Maybe they're afraid to be in relationships. Maybe they're afraid to settle down. So they're always kind of keeping their options open. But there is a connection there. And they don't really want you to run away from them. They want to pull you back in. And it could be for a real genuine, heartfelt reason. But then once you come back, then they're like, oh man, I don't know that I want this. I don't know that I want to be tied down. So you need to kind of allow some space. You need to sort of, when they call you up at 3 a.m. and they're like, hey, let's get together. Hey, let's do this. Be like, I'm busy. I got other stuff to do. It doesn't mean to be cruel. Be kind, be graceful. But you need to make sure that they court you a little bit. Have them take you on actual dates, things like that. Don't put out right away. Make them earn that, because that's how they respect you and cherish you later. Don't give it up too soon. And that's boys and girls. Whether you're straight, gay, doesn't matter. The other person needs to court you a little bit. So moving on to your general weekly advice. For this week, January 8th through the 17th, 18th, 19th, something like that, because there's 5 weeks in January. So going from January 8th to February 8th, the dates are going to be a little bit flexible. General advice for this week is go ahead, form partnerships, create close connections, but also know, like I said before with your love portion of the reading, that you don't want to dive in too deep too fast, because you don't know everything about that person yet, and you don't really even know everything about yourself yet and what you want. You know that you don't want to be lonely, but you don't know for sure that this is the right person. So create bonds, have deep conversations, spend meaningful time, but not necessarily with just one person. You should kind of be, for those of you who are single, you should kind of be dating a few people right now. But here's the thing. You need to be really, really honest about that. You need to be honest that you're seeing other people. And then going back to that love portion of that reading, that's going to make that other person want to be your best person. You know what I mean? Don't be a slut. Don't put out right now until you kind of understand who it is that you want to be with. And for Scorpios, you guys are like sex maniacs, right? A lot of people are attracted to Scorpios because they just like have this sexual magnetism, you know. I personally am a Leo, and I'm always like a magnet to a Scorpio. Like, just, love that Scorpio. But you can't do that right now. It's going to take a lot of self-restraint. For those of you who are coupled, you've got the Fool in reverse with the with the Four of Cups, and it's kind of the same theme as the general portion of that love reading there, where it's like you don't really want to necessarily be committed because you're like, okay, this person seems like they're offering me something really awesome. This seems really great. But then, you know, like these other people have really great things. And so I'm in this relationship, but I don't know if I want to like really, really be into this relationship. Like there's always something better. So it seems to me that perhaps as you might be a Scorpio interested in another Scorpio, right? That would be a fucking nightmare. Ooh, excuse my language. That would be a flipping nightmare right now because you're both kind of push, pull, tug of war kind of thing right now. A little bit more advice here is just go out, have a good time with your friends. The right person will come to you, the right moment, the right opportunity, and you're going to realize it soon enough. It's not always the person who evokes the most passion in you, because sometimes the person who evokes the most passion in you is the person who is the most wrong for you. Sometimes they are the most right for you. Sometimes they're not. So just be cautious. Take your time. Right now is not the time to make drastic changes. What you really need to be doing right now is to be focusing a little bit more on yourself, on what you want to do with your friends more so than your potential lovers or your lover until you sort it out, because it is like a real heart matter right now. And it doesn't seem like you're really thinking too hard about your emotions. You're not really focusing on emotions that are tied to people. And that's good. You don't have to be. Wait it out. See what happens. That second week there, though, moving on from the 16th, 17th, 18th into the early mid-20s of January, you've got the Seven of Swords and then the World in reverse with the Ten of Wands in reverse. So, excuse me, you kind of went, okay, I know what I got to do. I'm a little bit sad that I gotta kind of like make a change, and it seems like it might make my world a little topsy-turvy, like things are going to be a little bit crazy, but like you really know what it is that you have to do. And I think you finally found a way, and this one feels a little bit more tied to that career aspect, that like you're just going to put it out there and get moving, and you're like, I know it means I have to make a couple sacrifices in order to do what it is that I want to do, but I'm going to do it now regardless of how it upsets other things. And it's not going to be as hard as you think it is. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, it's going to be such hard work. It really isn't. Things are going to kind of like just fall into place, settle down, because, and this Death card, don't be afraid of it, because actually what this means is that when you stop doing one thing, when you close one door, another door opens, right? You have to completely stop one thing to be able to start something new, right? You have to come to the end of the road to go, okay, turn around and go a different direction. So this card really, really, really is telling you that once you do that, there's a lot of happiness. It doesn't look that way by this card, but what's standing out to me right now is this bright yellow, more so than a lot of the other colors, which sometimes do stand out for me. The yellow and the green grass on the bottom. So it's going to you'll be happier, more money. So that's good. Yay! So good for you. Good second week. Moving into that third week there. So the beginning of the 20th, maybe through like January 23rd. So from there on to the end of January, about January 31st, February 1st or so. Your general advice here and guidance. You've got the Seven of Cups with the Justice card, as well as the Star. So now in this week, it's like, you're like, oh man, goodness. Like a lot of choices, a lot of options, I don't know. Maybe you've been offered a few positions. One of them seems a little bit shady. One of them seems a little bit like, well, I could really see myself doing that. One of them seems a little bit like, oh, well, that's more money. It feels like you're going to be more drawn to what is fun or more money. And this maybe isn't in regards to career. This could be in regards to, typically this card is more in regards to relationships, like how you're feeling emotionally, like with your friends, your family, your lovers, things like that. But for some reason, it's coming like that it's more career related. It seems like you're probably going to be more likely to take the job that pays more, which I think is good. I think it's good because even though it seems like one of these jobs is kind of appealing, like, wow, I could really see myself doing that, there's something about it that makes you doubt whether or not it's actually a good idea or whether it's being represented as what it actually is. It's kind of like they pitch it to you like, hey, yeah, you want to come work for us because this is this. And then you get there and you're like, what? I thought I was going to have weekends off. Something like that. But I think what you genuinely or generally end up doing is going to be the right decision for you, and it's going to make you a lot happier. It's going to give you like a new like zest for life, a little bit more money too, but really you're just going to like find it feels like you're going to make new friends that kind of put you in line with new interests that you didn't even know you had, and you're going to start doing these things and you're like, oh my gosh, I really, really love it. So perhaps when you're if this is pertaining to the career aspect of your life, the general week here, where it's like you chose the job that had more money, is actually going to be a good thing, because instead of choosing it over the one that provides you more of what you thought was going to be fun or inspirational for you, because you're going to find that actually in the job that pays you more. So good for you. And then a little bit more with that is that you're going to find more balance. Like everything's going to seem like more in harmony. You're going to be like a little bit happier. It feels like that week between the early 20s of January, you know, like the 21st, 23rd, somewhere in there, through the end of January or February 1st is actually going to be like a really fantastic week for you. You're going to feel like things are finally like settling. They're where they're supposed to be, and that everything is balanced, and that like you're actually happy and like satisfied with the difficult choices that you had to make towards the beginning of that week. Like towards the end, you're like, okay, this is awesome. So moving on into the last part of the reading here. So February 1st, January 31st, somewhere over there, till about February 8th, okay? So you may have had to make a decision to get to where you are in order to be settled from that week before. And it was hard because it may have meant hurting other people. It may have meant putting yourself before others, doing what's best for you instead of, like if you're a really caring person, as a water sign, you probably are. You're probably an empath. So it's kind of like saying, I'm doing this thing because it's what's best for me. And maybe it affects other people in your life, in your home, in your family. And so you feel bad about that. And you're kind of looking back like, oh, I feel bad, but I needed to do this. And you know what? Like, if you just remember that you are responsible for yourself and not for you're responsible for your own happiness. You're not responsible for the happiness of others. They need to find within themselves their own happiness, right? You can contribute to their happiness, but you are not responsible for that. And once you realize that, you don't really have to feel so bad about doing what's right for you. If you don't do what's right for you, you can't do right for others, Does that make sense? So you really need to be cautious not to let all of this like turn your world upside down and make you an emotional wreck. You have to make sure that this doesn't deplete your happiness, that you actually do with passion what it is that you decided to do in this week. Because if you don't, you're going to feel really guilty and conflicted about having made that choice. And it's going to end up to be a fucking disaster. Because on the one hand, you're going to be like, this is what I had to do. This is what's best for me. And then on the other hand, you have so much guilt and you're going to feel so bad that you're like actually going to hurt your relationships with other people because you're going to want to hide your happiness from others. And that's not healthy. If you just do it and you're honest and you say, to your family members or your friends, whoever this affects outside of yourself, look, this is what I had to do. And it's because I can't be a good person for myself or for you unless I fulfill my own needs first. It's awesome. It works out. They understand. They totally get it. And then you don't have to feel guilty. So I would definitely recommend being honest. And if you do, it just strengthens your relationships. It actually brings everybody closer together and it makes them go, hey, you know what? I didn't realize that. So you experience a lot more harmony by being honest about that, so that week, January 31st, February 1st through the 8th, I would really focus on like clear, honest communication with those around you, with those you love, and it might actually help bring more love into your life. And that could be romantic love, family love, friendship love, but it's actually a really good thing for you. So if you need further guidance or more specifics as to what's going on with you, go ahead and look me up at tarot-blee, BLEE-accurate.com. You can find it in my description box. And I'm happy to help. See you next month. Bye.